comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's all right. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, I say, it's all right. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, I say, it's all right. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, I say, it's all right. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, I say, it's all right.
Oh, that's our band. Love the band. Thank you. Here comes the sun, indeed. Even though it is a little drizzly today, but we are supposed to be up in double digits. It's, for me, I feel so good. Like I've worn spring today. I've brought spring into our sanctuary. How is everyone today? Fantastic. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. My name is Jonathan Zenz. I'm the spiritual director here, and what a joy. What a joy it is to have you all here this morning. A couple of things I want to let you know about that we do have going on at the center. First of all, we do have classes that are continuing on Tuesday nights. Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. We have 2 more weeks of exploring roots, and we're currently studying Emma Curtis Hopkins. And boy, howdy, isn't she awesome? You know, it's funny. Through all of ministerial training, I never read Emma Curtis Hopkins. Doesn't that seem crazy? I know. You would think that that would be a prerequisite to becoming a minister in New Thought, that you would read the woman who's referred to in New Thought as the teacher of teachers. But it was never a requirement. I don't know why. Anyway, now I'm loving reading it and getting to explore Emma Curtis Hopkins with this group of brilliant, brilliant students. That's on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Wednesdays at 7 p.m. we have the Essential Ernest Holmes, which is writings that are beyond just the main textbook that we use called The Science of Mind. Other writings. In fact, one of the things I'm really excited about is there are excerpts from The Voice Celestial, which is one of the last things he wrote, and he wrote that with his brother. Really, really excited about reading that. So that's on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. Sunday, April 21st, Nick Michelli is doing his CD release party right here at the center. He is releasing his storytelling CD called Dragon on the Mountain, and he's going to be doing parts of that here, right? Yes, he's going to be doing parts of that, of his storytelling live right here at the center on that date. He's doing it as a fundraiser for the center. So I encourage you all to go online at csltoronto.com and buy your tickets and also purchase his CD in advance, because if you purchase it in advance and pick it up on the night of the concert, you can actually get a discount. If you wait and you buy it at the concert, then you have to pay a little bit more. So which would you rather do? Save a little money? I'm into saving money. So that's on April 21st right here at the center, and it starts at 2 o'clock. It's on Sunday. It's going to be after service. It starts here at 2 o'clock. He also has a special musical guest called Donkey that will be here that day.
Very good, Donkey.
I know. I will never forget. After Palm Sunday, remembering that Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, this is now my trigger to remember that the band's name is Donkey. June 9th, we have... So I know that I talk about her, and I taught this book last year, parts of this book last year, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity by Edwene Gaines. She is going to be our special guest at the Sunday service on June 9th. She will also be leading her workshop, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, after the service. This is a workshop that is given on a love offering basis, and on all the postcards that we're sending out to all the New Thought centers around the area, we're going to be saying, she's going to be here, bring your friends. So we're expecting standing room only. Since it is a love offering, there's no sign-up sheet for it. So I would suggest you all be here on that day and experience the brilliance that is Edwene Gaines. I don't know how to explain to you other than she teaches prosperity better than anybody I have ever known in my life. She turned my entire experience around in terms of how I live prosperity, and she is funny as... Yes, you get it? She is so freaking funny. It's a very entertaining day, so please do join us here for service and for the workshop following. That's on June 9th. April 30th, Tuesday, April 30th is our next women's group meeting right here at the center at 7 o'clock. Yes? Yes, there you are. 7 o'clock, led by our beautiful, brilliant practitioner, Helen Velo. So Tuesday, April 30th. Who's here for the first time? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hello, welcome. Thanks for being here today. I want to let you know that if you find yourself intrigued, we do have the hat. I've totally forgotten. Judy's trying to get my attention back there. All right, I will do this, and then so I just wanted to say welcome and honor the fact that you're here bringing your consciousness to share with us in this day. And if you are interested, we do have a sign-up sheet for our newsletter that goes out every Friday, but I leave that to your discretion. All right, so it is the first Sunday of the month, and I clearly have had a lot of coffee. You know, what? Me drink coffee? It is the first Sunday of the month, and what we celebrate on the first Sunday of every month are birthdays and anniversaries that are happening during the course of this month. So, if you are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary during the month of April,
A little bit of a special anniversary.
Oh, and Helen, are we doing the thing? Yeah. Sorry, I'm relying on Helen for things we've talked about that. So here's the way this works. Ballots are being passed out. On the ballot, you write down your name, and you write down the name of a registered charity. And we are going to draw from the basket. So you should, if you were celebrating this month, you probably were handed something or you were asked as you were coming in. So we'll just continue to collect those. While those are being filled out and collected, I guess I have to wait for Tanis.
I can multitask.
She can multitask. All right, let's sing the birthday and anniversary song while we're waiting for those to be collected.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Leopold.
Happy birthday to you. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
All right. So here's what happens in the drawing. We're now going to draw the name. Everybody's in there, right? And the person who wins gets a portion of today's service, 10% of whatever we do during the collection. Did I say 10? It's 5% of whatever comes in during the collection today. 5% of whatever comes in during the collection today is going to be donated to the registered charity. We're also doing something new. Helen, would you mind coming up here? We have a lovely gift basket as well for whomever wins. Ooh. So the winner is Pierre Gautreau. I have to hold on to this.
The lovely and talented Miss Tanis Burnett.
Yes, indeed.
There you go.
So for those of you who may not know, it is Tanis and Pierre are a married couple, and they're celebrating 25 years this month.
Yeah. We got married when we were 10.
Now I know that
Well, you were 10, I was 8.
I know that the gift basket is very exciting, but we've forgotten one other thing. The registered charity that they've decided to give to is a brilliant charity, Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. All right, so we're in a good mood today, it sounds like, huh? Yes, well, I'm in a great mood today. So I'm just like revved up. Get it? Get it. Oh, so bad. Ba-dum-chink. Thank you. We come here every Sunday with one purpose. Really only one thing that we ever come here on a Sunday to do, and that's to celebrate something. What are you celebrating? What are you, see, and this is, it's not what I'm celebrating. Man, I know what I'm celebrating, but here's my question to you. What are you celebrating? What is it in your mind that you choose to celebrate today? Me? Was that you? That was you. Well, brilliant. Okay, so then, all right, so I'm going over here, Tony. So let me ask you. Who are you? Oh, perfect answer. Did you hear what she said? No. I asked her, who are you? She said, I am. That's a brilliant statement. It's a perfect statement. Because whatever you put following I am is exactly who you are. So who do you decide to be today? Who are you going to decide to be today? Think about it. And in your own mind, make that affirmation. I am. You know what's really great about that? There are infinite things that are happening in mind right here and right now, because all of us have a different idea of what follows that statement, I am. That's what we're here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate the core of our beingness, which is what we refer to as God. We don't believe in some man sitting out there on a cloud. We don't. We believe in an energy, a universal creative energy that is the core of who we are. And as it is creative and as it is creating, we are the creation of that energy and creating by means of that energy. That's all one perfect symbiotic relationship with God as us and us as God. So one of the ways that we do celebrate this idea is to read together on the back of your songbook the Declaration of Principles. The Declaration of Principles, which were written by Ernest Holmes, the founder of this philosophy, in 1927. As you read this, you're reading this in the first person, and really check in with yourself to determine, is this what I believe? Don't just read it by rote, really check in with yourself. So let's read this together. I believe in one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe this one manifests itself in and through all creation. I believe in the individualization of the Spirit, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. I believe that heaven is within, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. I believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. I believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. The eternal givingness of life to all. Well, here to give and share with us today is our practitioner of the day. Please help me welcome Margaret Ann Snyder.
Good morning, all you beautiful persons. I have a little bit of a lengthy reading, so settle in, from the Living the Science of Mind. Okay. There is a divine person back of our personality, a unique manifestation of the living spirit. It is never alike in any two people. This is proved by the fact that no two persons' thumbprints are alike, no two blades of grass are alike, no two anythings are identical. And yet everything is rooted in one life, one presence, and one power. Why then should we expect that any two individuals should be alike? God himself has placed a unique stamp on everyone. We should not study to be alike, but rather to develop what we really are. Unity does not mean uniformity. Our unity with other people does not mean that we must think and act as they do. All it means is that we should get along with them. We should unify with everything, while at the same time keeping intact and whole that God-given something at the center of our being, which is the spiritual ego. To find this true center is the end and aim of our search. This divine person within us has, in a sense, one hand placed in the hand of God and the other outstretched to humanity. For the person who finds himself in God will discover God in others. He will see things in a different light than will the one who thinks he is alone. He will draw strength and inspiration from life itself, for no man can live without God and be whole. Since everything is included in God, for God is the only presence and power that there is, the person who wants to be the most himself will have to be the one who has discovered for himself that which is greater than he is. Our capacity to think, to live, and to move is non-physical. There is an invisible presence hidden within us, which has its source in a higher power, and which acts through our actions, wills, through our minds, and reveals itself in what we are doing. At the center of our being, there is a divine person, a unique incarnation of God. This is the source of all real inspiration. Here and here alone, at the center of our being, is the real creative power. The question is whether we are living from this center or whether we are thinking of ourselves as detached, separate, divided, alone, and inadequate. We all have direct access to the infinite presence, the universal person. There could be no more beautiful thought than that the divine spirit itself, infinite as it is also within us. And with this acceptance of God, there must come an acceptance of the real self, that self which blossoms in our relations with others and finds fruit in its own action. Yeah, take a breath. And I have a little affirmation that I would like to share with you. And if you'd like, you could repeat it when I say it, after I say it. I accept this beautiful individualized expression of divine being with love. I accept this beautiful individualized expression of divine being with love. And once more. I accept this beautiful individualized expression of divine being with love. And so it is.
Thank you so much. Hold on, leave it open. I always do this to her. What was that first sentence you read?
The very first one?
There is a divine person back of our personality. Again, she is intuiting what I'm going to talk about today brilliantly, because nobody ever knows. I put out a talk title, and it's fairly obscure. A unique manifestation of the living spirit. It is never alike in any two people. So perfect. It is so perfect for what I'm discussing today. Thank you so much for offering this to each and every one of us. So I'm going to invite you to stay here as we allow what has just occurred by means of Margaret Ann and this entire community to resonate with you in whatever way it needs to resonate. Because all we're ever doing is here reminding ourselves of the truth, that there is only one power, there's only one living presence, and it's who and what we are. And so we're going to do this chant, a real chant today. Very easy, I would say. I mean, you don't need to look in your songbooks, but if you want to, it's on page 8. But you'll get it very quickly. So as we step into this moment, relaxing right here, if it's comfortable, if you want to close your eyes and allow the truth to resonate. Simply go to that allowing place, letting go of any preconceived notions, letting go of anything that you are anticipating, letting go of any regret, simply being present right here, right now. And I'll start singing the chant, and you can join in as you feel comfortable. I am remembering who I am. 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 Keep singing that.
I am remembering who
Just allow it to resonate with you.
I am remembering who I am.
And as you continue,
I am remembering
I'm going to allow this next part to join in.
I am remembering who
Let it all resonate as one. I am remembering. 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 I am remembering.
And in this moment, right here, right now, in the presence of all of this love, all of this knowing, all of this remembering that I am an infinite child of God, an infinite, eternal, spiritual being that is perfect, that is light, that is divinely inspired, one of the great whole. In this moment, I remember that I am a spiritual being, that I am divine, that I am open, expansive, always unfolding and revealing this beautiful, perfect presence that is me. In this moment, I know that I am God expressing, that I am individualized with a free choice that is inspired and that is perfect. And I know that as I choose, I am one with God, and my choices are inspired, and I choose again. And I know that I am one with God and one with each and every person in my life and in this world. I know that I am one with God. I know that this life unfolds perfectly in alignment with God that is the divine. I open myself in this moment to this beautiful presence that is me, and let it shine and let it express perfectly with a grace and an ease that is truly unique to me, that is my love, that is my expression, that is my divine being. I allow this, I accept this beautiful individualized expression that is me with love and devotion, knowing that I am, knowing I am. In gratitude for this knowing, in gratitude for this love that is spontaneous, in gratitude for this joy that fills my being, and in gratitude for the gratitude that I can express it with zeal and with thanksgiving. In gratitude for this life that thrills through me with creativity and joy. In gratitude, I release these words to the law of mind, knowing that I live these expressions. I live this expression that is me with ease and peace. I release, I let go. I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is.
So we'll go back into the chant. You can choose whichever part resonates with your soul. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. 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 And so it is. Thank you so much, Margaret Ann. It was beautiful. It was beautiful treatment. We haven't done this in a while, but I've chosen to do this here. Oh, I've changed something up. Surprise. I want to read together because this is all about remembering who we are, and that our statement spoken is a statement that creates. Our statement spoken is backed by a belief, and that belief is creative in our lives. So as we step into this next statement, which is what we have on the front of our songbooks, this statement of Dr. Ernest Holmes, let's read this together and really let this be your declaration right here and right now. Here we go. I am happy and complete today and forever. Within me is that which is perfect and complete. It is the spirit of all life, truth, and action. I am happy in the certain knowledge of this inner light. I radiate joy and life, for life is within me now. Life is within me. Life is within each and every one of you. To celebrate life a little bit more deeply, I'm going to invite the band. I'm going to ask the band to sing us a song.
Okay.
Let me think. What song would I like to hear today? I think I'd like to hear a John Mayer song. How does that sound? Pierre Gautreau and the band.
Take all of your wasted honor, every little past frustration. Take all of your so-called problems, you better put them in quotations. Say what you need to say. 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 Walking like a one-man army, fighting with the shadows in your head, living out the same old moments, knowing you'd be better off instead if you could only say what you need to say. 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 Have no fear for giving in. Have no fear for giving up. to say what you need to say again. Even if your hands are shaking and your faith is broken, even as the eyes are closing, do it with a heart wide open. Say what you need to say. 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 Say what you need to. Say what you need to. Say what you need to say. 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 Say what you need to say.
Oh, you gotta love our band. I love our band. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Hi. All right. So first of all, I want to let you know that the, well, depending on your generation, the Lauren Bacall, Demi Moore voice going on, it's Brenda Vaccaro, whichever generation you're a part of, it's not because I'm sick. I'm not sick. I was doing some deep cleaning in my apartment. I was scrubbing, and I think I kicked up some dust and stuff that's just gotten all into my sinuses, and I'll never do that again without wearing a mask. So anyway, that's what's going on. Because I know I stand up here frequently, I'm like, I don't ever get sick, and I'm not sick. It's just, this is a thing that's not related to sickness. It's just my body taking care of itself in terms of this stuff I've been breathing. Which is what I needed to say in that moment. Ah. I will say what I need to say. I will always say what I need to say. And here's what so I was standing out there, and this was really not planned, but I have made a determination, I've made a decision, and it actually is very much in line with what I do need to say today, which is I will no longer apologize for my ministry. I will no longer hold back in my ministry. You look at me like, what? I don't get it. I'll explain it. I am a young minister in more senses of the word than, you know, just being new to the ministry. I mean, I've been now a quote-unquote pulpit minister for 16 months. And this is the only place I've ever been a pulpit minister. And coming out of ministerial school back in 2011, we are in 2011, that summer when I came out of ministerial school and I passed everything, and there was that infamous Facebook message that Tony and I exchanged, which is, I passed, congratulations, we need a minister in Toronto. I said, okay, I'll be there. I actually realized that I've spent a lot of time apologizing for the way that I approach my own ministry. And what that means is, I got here and I started saying to you, it is very important to me that I look at each and every one of you and remind you that you are God. And yet there was still an apologetic nature behind that. And I will no longer apologize for that. You know why? Because it's the truth. You are God. That's exactly who and what you are. And I'm not going to pussyfoot around it anymore. Because there's absolutely no reason to. If I am holding back, if I am apologizing for my ministry, why would you show up? So no more apologies. I am also not going to apologize anymore for calling this a church. We do call it a spiritual center. Here's the deal. Whatever you want to call it is what works for you. For me, the term church works. It makes sense. I come here on a Sunday, I'm a minister, I stand at a pulpit, and I talk. What could get more churchy than that? But you know what came up in class? We are a teaching center. And for me, the primary goal, I know Tony's like, will you stop moving? This is what happens. This is what happens when you give me more space. Just wait till we're in a large auditorium. I'll be bouncing back and forth. Where was I? Oh. Okay, so we were in class, and you know, it came up in class that we talked about the concept of calling this a church, and then I said, you know, here's another thought. We are a teaching center, which is really what the core of Judaism is. So in that respect, we could almost be a synagogue. Think about it, because what does the word rabbi stand for? Do you know what the word rabbi means? Teacher. It does not mean minister. Because there's also a disconnect, I think, that happens when I say minister, because people think, oh, the minister, he has some authority. He has some authority over us, and I will never say that I have authority over you. The true nature of being a minister is to recognize that every single one of you is on equal footing with me in this journey of life. There is no special revelation that I have come to. I have simply studied a specific way of living and being that works for me. And if you want to call it a church, if you want to call it religion, if you want to call it a spiritual philosophy, if you want to call it Fred, I don't care. Call it what you need to call it so that it works for you to the core of your being, so that you can start to live the principles to the best that you can live the principles. Because it is not up to me to make the determination about how well you're living your life. And I will never step into that place of judgment, ever. Ever. In the song, there's a lot of talk in the song. Say what you need to say. There's a lot of talk about the past. Take all of your wasted honor. Take every little past frustration. Take all of your so-called problems. And here's what I love. Better put them in quotations. Because what that means is if you start to take those things that you're holding on to in your life, i.e., the apologies for being a minister, put them in quotations. I no longer need to do that because I am a present person right here in this moment that is having a brand new experience. The past no longer matters. Does not matter. I don't care what I did 5 minutes ago. It doesn't matter. Who am I in this moment? And who am I becoming? Because I'm in a constant state of becoming. So anything that you have held on to from the past, remember that if you are holding on to it, it is affecting you in your present moment. You better put it in quotations because it does not exist. To the degree that you allow it to continue to inform who you are is the degree to which it continues to exist in your experience. Because as you say what you need to say, and if you're saying things that you think you need to say that are holding on to the past, you are creating from that point of view. You're creating from exactly that spot. Because what we teach within this philosophy is everything you believe leads to a thought. That thought leads to something you may say. Everything you say is backed by thought, which is backed by belief. Your belief is creating your experience. That's why, oh, here I go, I'm saying Jesus again. Jesus, who Ernest Holmes has referred to as the greatest teacher. Now, maybe he was. I don't know. I was not there 2,000 years ago. We have only what is purported to have been said, really. But it's very wise. It's very wise what has been attributed to Jesus. Jesus said, "It is done unto you as you believe." It is done unto you as you believe. So what is the level of your belief about the quality of your life? Because if you've decided that life sucks, guess what? Life sucks. If you've decided that life is a joyful experience that is meant to be lived with aplomb and you can just dive right into it, guess what? That's your experience. And you will draw into your circle of being, your circle of energy, everything that supports that idea. Where do you want to live? The lyrics in the song, living out the same old moment. Living out the same old moment, knowing you'd be better. And the thing is, we know this inherently as we're living these same old moments. He says it, knowing you'd be better off instead if you could only say what you need to say. But are you continuing to live the same old moments over and over and over again? One of the things that is in the Declaration of Principles that I didn't put it in here in what we read, because this is only a portion of the full Declaration of Principles, because if we read the entire Declaration of Principles, that would take about 15 minutes. And I do, as much as you may not know this, I do try and keep it tight. One of the things that Ernest Holmes wrote in the Declaration of Principles is this one. He's talking about the divine creative source of all things, God. I'm just going to use the word God, and I will not apologize for it. God manifests itself in and through all creation. You hear me say it all the time. God is who I am. God is who I am. God is what you are. God is who you are. God is what I am. There is no separation. Here we go. Here's God, right? I talk about that all the time, which is why they put up my nice little God face. To remind me that the wall is God too. And to remind you, the wall is God too. The lectern is God. The microphone is God. The electricity that is running this building is God. Everything is God. The body of God is the manifest universe. Is it starting to give you maybe a little perspective as to the enormity of infinity that you truly cannot comprehend, because as you try to comprehend it, you're starting to limit it in your own mind. And yet infinity cannot be limited. We try to understand it. God manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. That means there is an easy flow of creation happening by means of each and every one of us. God is a flow. And as I step into my experience of life, as you step into your experience of life, you are sharing in this flow of creation. What am I doing? My mentor, James Mellon, would be so proud. Because he catches himself doing things like that too, and he's giving talks. He's like, what am I doing? And then he's like, so today, because of this voice thing I've got going on, I can get into this little squeaky thing that James sometimes gets into too. That only happens when I'm sick, though. Not sick, experiencing something that is not sickness. It's just my body, whatever. It's a God experience. And that's the other thing. I will not say that this is not a God experience. This is a God experience. And I am in full control of my experience of this thing that I'm experiencing in my body. I affirm right here in this moment that I am perfect health embodied at all times, no matter what the circumstances look like, because the truth of my being is the creative nature of the universe. That is perfect health. Doesn't matter what this is. I know who I am. I know who I am. So God manifests itself through all of creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. So I can't absorb, but can I absorb you? No, I can't absorb all of God. What we also say is that the allness of God is everywhere present at every space, at every point of space and time. And yet, we are not the allness of God. We are a perfect individualized aspect of this divine beingness. And in that, we are each perfect and unique. That is our identity. Perfect, unique God expression. Now, the identity that we have, and it is something that we share. I mean, I have an identity, right? You all know you have an identity. Does anyone disagree with me? You all have an identity. Do you know how your identity manifests itself in the world of form? As your personality. Your personality is the perfect expression of your God identity. Your perfect God identity is infinite. And after we are done with this expression on this plane of action, your identity does not disappear. It continues into whatever the next expression is, into infinity. Now, because we are perfect, individualized expressions of the one, God, and God is creative, we create with and as God. This one creates by means of our word, which I said before. First time that's ever happened. I'm like, I got to get out of any pattern of speakers. God is saying, hello, don't forget, I'm here. God creates by means of our word. So, in the same vein, I ask you today, right in this moment, what is your word? What is your word? What is your word worth? Think about that. Do you ever consider that your word actually has value? Because your word is showing up in the world of expression. Your word is showing up as form. So your word has value. Now, when I talk about the word, some of you may actually even go to that place, the biblical place in the Old Testament of God said the word, whatever, God spoke his word, and, there's a definite anthropomorphized idea of God in the Bible. God spoke his word, and the word was made flesh. Something like that, right? So it's this idea that I think people misunderstand, that it's like, I am God, and I'm going to stand up here, and I'm going to speak my word. Adam, and the word was made flesh. Word is not, we're not talking about word in the literal sense of the word. We're talking about the self-contemplation of the Spirit. That's what the word is. That's what the word is. The self-contemplation of the Spirit. And we each have the capacity to do this in our own lives, and our experience is showing up based on that idea. So this is why for me meditation is very important, because meditation is that place that I get to sit and remind myself of who I am. That self-contemplation is what is then unleashed as creating in my life. And when I really understand that who and what I am is this divine creative energy, then everything aligns and shows up perfectly according to my requirements, not my needs, not my wants, my requirements. Because when I state my word, when I actually do state a word, when I say, I require X, it is a requirement. It is not a desire. It is not a want. It is not a request. It is not I'm not pleading to God to provide it for me. No, I am saying this is what I am worth. And so as I step into that level of value, what I require shows up in my life. And every single one of us has exactly that same capacity to create with and as God. Without contemplation, without self-contemplation of spirit, nothing in the manifest world would exist. This is what I liken to. Do you know when I decided, did this thing in practitioner class when I was studying to be a practitioner, and I was really back thinking about it. I'm like, so if we tie this into what we know of the physical universe that we are experiencing right here and right now, and we look at physics and what astronomers and what physicists are looking at in terms of the Big Bang, which we experience in time, happened, however many trillions or billions of years ago. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I have decided for me, what works for me, is to understand the Big Bang in this way. It was the point at which God contemplated this entire experience on this plane of action. And so it happened. Does that mean that there was anything before? Yes, because God is infinite. And before denotes time. Well, time doesn't exist in the mind of God. That's a whole other talk. Since time does not exist, everything is happening instantaneously right here and right now. Everything that has ever happened, everything that ever will happen, everything in the world that we experience is happening right now. And it is happening in a collective experience. You know, the other thing we talk about is a collective consciousness. We have created a collective consciousness within this room where we are all probably vibrating at a similar level because we are all engaged in this idea. We're all having thoughts along this idea, along this spiritual principle that we teach. And so we have created a healing energy right here and right now. How many of you are tuned in to that healing energy? Brilliant. It actually was a rhetorical question, but if you want to answer, that's fine. Sometimes I will delineate. This is a rhetorical question. But if you are tuned in, if you are tapped into that healing energy right here and right now, it cannot help but create as part of your experience because you're receptive to it. So here's what I would like you all to do. Start to recognize, and I'm going to tell you what to do. But this is important. Start to recognize that what your word is, your word has value. For it is the only creative factor in your life. You don't have to use your willpower to make anything happen. You simply have to speak your word backed by that deeply rooted conviction, that deeply rooted belief, means that your word shows up. That is why I can stand here and say that God is power. Your word is powerful. Your word is part of that expression of God happening in this moment. It's also why we can say trained thought is more powerful than untrained thought, which I got wrong on one of my exams early on in my studies. Because I had this thought, I'm like, well, thought is thought, and all thought creates, right? So how could trained thought be more powerful than untrained thought? Well, I figured it out after I was marked wrong on that question. If you train your thought, you're stepping into the place of purposeful creation, as opposed to, I love that Ernest Holmes uses this willy-nilly creation. Here's the deal, thought creates. But because you can purposefully create means that you can step into that place of power if you understand that purposeful creation is powerful. Because you can eliminate any erroneous experience that may have come upon you by means of the willy-nilly thinking that's happening in your subconscious mind. That's why trained thought is more powerful than untrained thought. So how have you stepped into the concept of training your thought to think only based on a belief that you now may embody, that is, you are God? Because when you really embody the concept that you are God, trust me, the willy-nilly thoughts will begin to disappear because you will understand that you are creating your own experience. We do teach that we can control the conditions in our lives. We can. And in fact, in doing prayer, the demonstration of a prayer, Ernest Holmes says, must show up in the world of form. That's how you know that your prayer has been answered. It must show up in the world of form. How many of you have prayed and had your prayer answered? How many of you would like to have your prayers answered? You're in control. There is not some person out there determining that you are worthy of your prayers being answered. The value of your word is demonstrated by your self-value, by your self-assessment. When you really come to the understanding that you are God, every prayer you pray is answered automatically. But you must come to that deep understanding in order for that to be the case. So, Today was called Identity Issues. That was the name of the talk. Because I'm tired of living in that identity crisis of I don't know who and what I am. I don't know who and what this place is. I don't know anymore. And I'm tired of not knowing. However you identify, that is your reality. If you identify as happy, that is your reality. If you identify as sad, that is your reality. If you identify as shy, that is your reality. But it's up to you. A lot of us think that we're born with these innate kind of things, and, you know, that's an idea that we've accepted in mind, so that's become our reality. You see how it works? At some point along the way, you accepted the idea of being X. And if you do not like X and you would rather experience Y, make the decision to experience Y with the understanding that you are divine. And it's not just about adjectives. It's actually also about your name. Isn't it interesting that there are people who don't resonate with their name and they will change their name? I was lucky. I resonate with my name. Do you know what I was named after? I was named after Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And thank God that book came out. All right, so my dad watches online, so I'm totally calling you out, Dad. If I had not been named Jonathan, I would have been named Woody. So the reason that I was now there's a reason there was a reason that my name was going to be Woody, because I was going to be named after Woody Guthrie. Oh, now it all makes sense, right? Do I look like a Woody? No. Do I look like a Jonathan? Yeah. Yes. So I also had this creation story that kind of went along, because before I was old enough to read the book and really understand the book, I had this whole idea that I actually was a seagull, because I created my own creation story. I was a seagull, and I don't know why it wasn't my dad. It was my uncle who was out fishing in the ocean one day, and I got caught on his line, and he reeled me in, and in his boat, I transformed into a little boy. And you know what? That was my experience, until I came to a deeper understanding of what birth is and what the reproductive process in this field of action is. Who's to say that that was not who I was on some plane of action? Clearly, it was I'm sorry, I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna have a little water. On some plane of action, that had to have been my experience. You know why that had to have been my experience? Because I could contemplate it. Because I could bring it to mind. So if you can bring something to mind, it exists on some plane of action somewhere. We make decisions and determinations about, well, that's not possible. Who's to say? Who's to say what's not possible? Because I believe anything is possible. In fact, I believe everything is possible. So where are you? How do you identify? How do you identify your surroundings? Now, I've already talked about, I'm not going to apologize for calling this a church. That's my vocabulary. How do you identify your surroundings? If church doesn't work for you, you don't have to agree with me. And I want to make sure that you know that I never expect that you have to agree with everything I say. Here's what I know. I know what works for me, and I will talk about what works for me. And I will invite you to maybe give it a try. And if it works for you, great, take it. If it doesn't work for you, find what does work for you. Find what works for you so that you can live a fantastically brilliant life. So where are you right now? Where are you right now? Simply resonate with that idea. Where are you? Are you in a church? Are you in Toronto? Are you on the planet Earth? Are you in the universe? Where are you? The great news is you get to decide and make a determination about what that means for you. And it doesn't matter what I call the location. Like I said, the word church works for me. It doesn't matter what you call the location, with the understanding that whatever you call the location, you have now limited the limitless into a specific idea. And if that works for you, go with it. But be aware that you can change it at any time. I may get to the point someday where I say, this is a spiritual center, in that really sibilant-esque kind of way that I just did. And this has also come up on the minister's listserv this week. It's funny. This conversation started, I don't know if you remember this conversation. It may not have been it was part of the business meeting where they said, well, we need to determine what we're going to call the offices for the larger organization that are in Colorado. We need to have, this is a real discussion that they're having. Now, what you don't know, Helen, is that they sent out a Survey Monkey. Oh, you got it? Like, of all the things that we were putting our focus on, why don't we start putting our focus on actually healing the world and worrying less about what we call our center, our office? I love it. Some of the things that came up, headquarters, makes sense, right? Home office, the Golden office, because it's in Golden, Colorado. So there's a, right? Some of my favorite responses, mothership. We're already asked if we're a cult. Come on. The mountain of love. But my absolute favorite, Vatican West. But ultimately, what these things do, regardless of what any one of us calls, because whatever they call it, I'm probably still going to call it headquarters, because I think they're leaning towards home office. But in my mind, it's the headquarters of our larger organization. But that may also be because I spent time in the corporate world. So it just makes sense to me, right? So what makes sense to you? Whatever is making sense to you is limiting your belief about an infinite idea. Limitation, Ernest Holmes writes, is not a thing of itself. It is a way of belief. So any limited idea that you have is simply a way of belief. It's what you're believing. That's it. Because God cannot be limited. The divine creative source of all things cannot be limited, which is great because it also means that we cannot be limited. Not a single one of us is limited except to the degree that we believe we're limited. So I'm going to ask you to consider these small questions. Who are you? What are you? Where are you? Who are you? What are you? Where are you? Whomever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are, you decide. You decide those things. And when you make those decisions, those things become your reality. So say what you need to say, but do it in a resolute fashion. Do it with conviction. Do it with the understanding that your word spoken is created because you are God. And there is no need to apologize for that at all because your word creates. Let go of any past frustrations. Let go of any so-called problems. Make the decision right here and right now that those things, put them in quotations, they no longer have any effect on your life. Be done with the limitations you've created. Step into the limitless identity of simply being God. A human being God. That's who and what each and every one of us is. A human being God. So say what you need to say. And I think I've said what I need to say. Namaste. So there's clearly a squeak somewhere. All right. So we do this. So I got a couple of things. First of all, I want to say hello to everybody online because I don't say hello to everybody online nearly enough. And I want to acknowledge the fact that we do have lots of people who watch us live online every week and also who watch us in our video archives, which do get posted to our website every week. So I wanted to say hello and acknowledge that I do know that you exist. Hi. Hi. But as we step into this next portion of the service, which is our affirmative giving, which is the place at which I invite you to simply take what it is you have to offer to the center today. And recognize that as you give, so you receive, that giving is actually a spiritual practice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite, she may have forgotten that I was going to do this, I'm going to invite Helen Vallot to come up and talk a little bit about the concept of this center. Tanis is like, what? This is new. Helen?
Sorry, I was getting ready to do the count.
I understand. I'm going to move this, and you can put that there. Yes.
Okay.
We're all good.
Good morning. What do I need to say?
Say what you need to say.
So, when Jonathan was asking us who we are, and it was the I am, and I came up with I am, starts with an S. It's not what you're thinking, Tanis.
Super duper.
No. I came up with I'm sparkly. I'm sparkly. And I went, oh, that's really interesting. Not all that profound, but interesting. And I think for me, because when I come here on a Sunday and I see every person here, and I'm able to recognize here and in my life how beautiful and precious everyone is. And I think of when I came here in, I think it was 2007, I certainly did not go to church. I could not say the word God. And I knew I was on a path, but I had no idea that the path would bring me to where I am today, and how I feel about myself, how I love myself more than I've ever loved myself, how I love the power of spirit that is within each and every person, and how much I love being in community. Community is the coolest thing. And I didn't really grow up in communities. And, I was like, no, I'm an individual and don't really need community. I so need community. I so love community. It is truly precious because I think that none of us can do this alone, that we're meant to support one another, to hold the space for one another, for each person on their journey, and hold that space of unconditional love, compassion, and also a championing, is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
And cheering of like, yes, you can do this. And I will say one story that did happen to me when I was taking Troward back in 2007. And I had an idea for a book. And I was big on visioning. I'm still big on visioning. And in the class, we had to do a book report on an author. And so there was this list of authors. I had no idea who these people were. I was new to this teaching. And I said, okay, I'll take that one. And it was a book called Your Invisible Power by Genevieve Behrend. So I borrowed it from Barbara, took it home, I opened it up, and it was all on the power of visioning. And I went, oh my God. Because what I wanted to do was write a book about visioning. And I went, thank you, this just confirms it for me. And I'd say that the things that I've done and the way I've put myself out there as a result of these teachings, I never would have done. I wrote my book, I wrote another one, I did an ebook, I've put myself out there on the internet, a website, things I never would have imagined doing had it not been for these teachings and knowing that I have a voice, I have something to say, I have gifts to bring to the world, and that Spirit, you know, when you listen to Spirit, it all unfolds in the most perfect way. So this place, coming here on a Sunday, having the music that we have, thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you, Jonathan, the classes, I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. And it is funny because I went out for dinner with Derek last night, and he said, you know, you get bored really quickly. And I do. I get bored really quickly. I'm on to the next thing. Okay, I've done that. Yeah, okay, what can I do next? But I don't get bored with this teaching. And I don't get bored coming here. And I don't get bored with being in community. Because this is what sustains me to go out into the world to do what I need to do and what Spirit's pushing me to do. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of my community. I love you, and I'm so grateful to these teachings. So
Great.
There you go.
Thank you, Helen.
That's what I needed to say.
Thank you very much. Yes. So let's honor what this has done for Helen's life and what this is doing for your life, whether you're aware of it or not, with our affirmative giving. So as you hold whatever it is you're offering to, I hold a popsicle stick for those of you who don't know what the popsicle stick means. It means that my giving is done automatically. It's taken out of my bank account. So we do have that program here if anybody's interested. But it's a representation of a larger idea that as you give, so you receive. And let's read together on the back of your songbook, holding what it is you offer today, the divine givingness statement. I know that God is the source of all supply and that money is God in action. I know that my good is here now. I claim an abundance of money to spare and share. I know that true prosperity includes perfect health, perfect wealth, and perfect happiness. I bless all that I have now, and I bless the increase. I give thanks for this good. I know that my gift today goes forward to heal and bless. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center and know that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. This is on page 27 of your songbook if you'd like to follow along. In this moment.
In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. In this moment I feel grace. In this moment I feel grace. In this moment I feel grace. I feel grace. I feel grace. I feel grace. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. In this moment I feel love. In this moment I feel love. In this moment I feel love. I feel love. I feel love. I feel love. And the point of power The point of power is in this moment now.
So I'll invite Margaret Ann to do a blessing over the offering.
Oh. Please join me in this.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please join me in this prayer of abundance and thanksgiving and gratitude. There is only one presence. It is love. It is infinite and eternal. It is abundant in me, as I am God expressing. And in this moment, I feel that I need to say that this is the time that I can let fly all my beliefs. And I know that I can change them. And I know that they can inspire me to do different things, to do loving and gracious and important things. Important to me and important to my life and my expression. In this moment, I am free to do what I believe. And this belief is new and fresh and open. And in this moment, I give thanks that I am alive, that I know I am alive, and that I can give and receive in this infinite, eternal energy. And in this moment, I give thanks and gratitude to each and every one here, and know that these baskets are true love, and they are received in gratitude. And I know that this money goes forth and expands this teaching and this love. In gratitude, I release, I let it go, and I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Margaret Ann. This day and every Sunday cannot happen without the team that come together and put it all together. And I want to give great gratitude to all of our volunteers who helped out today. I want to thank Kathy for setting up. I want to thank Derek and Tony, who are our greeters today. I want to thank Marg, who's in the bookstore today. I want to thank Helen and Judy, our board members. Oh, and we do have a board meeting today. If you're a member of the center and you want to join us for the board meeting, you are welcome to join us and observe that. That's after our fellowship time. I want to thank Carrie in the sound booth, and I want to thank Tony, who's helping us get out to the world by way of our webcast. Yes. I want to thank Mark and Mahala, who are down with the dynamic kids today. I want to thank Lucy and Margaret Ann, who I scared to death yesterday, I think, when I came in, because they were cleaning the center, and I don't think they were expecting me. And I came in, and they're, whoa, and then they said, get off that wet floor. But I want to thank them for coming in and scrubbing down the center yesterday. I want to thank Linda for bringing these beautiful, I know you guys can't see these as well over there. I'm going to show you these beautiful flowers that Linda brought in to share today. All right, I'm making an executive decision. I get to do that because I'm the minister. How does that work? Now you can all enjoy the flowers as well. All right, and I'll try not to, step over here. I want to thank our practitioner of the day, Margaret Ann, for your beautiful treatment work, your beautiful prayer. Thank you. I want to thank Pierre Gautreau and the band for their awesome work. And I really want to thank each and every one of you for making your presence known here today with the recognition that you are a perfect place of power. And I will invite you all to stick around. We have a lovely potluck spread today for our fellowship, and I will invite everyone to hang out and enjoy the food that has brought itself here by means of each and every one of you. So to close us out today with our benediction, we're going to do a song. It's on page 2 of your songbook. You will recognize it. This is Be Still and Know. And as we step into this final moment with the recognition that God is who and what we are, this is the claim we're making by means of this song, and allowing the vibration of the music to resonate with each and every one of us is what I would encourage each and every one of you to do. Allow it to simply take over right in this moment. Take a breath take this perfect moment to remember who you are, right here, right now. You are the point of power. You are the point at which divine source is creating, and everything you require is available to you because of this. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. As you sing it, hear it in your own voice. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. It's right here in this perfect moment that I take this time to recognize the truth that God is all there is. This one creative power, this one infinite source of all things, this infinite energy that is moving, living, breathing, having its life as our life. It is the very core of our beingness. I am, and each and every person observing this experience right here in this moment is a brilliant individualized expression of this divine energy, flowing forth and living its life as our own. And so I lay claim to, right here and right now, the perfect expression of Spirit in everything that we encounter. I know that Spirit is perfectly expressing it and evolving itself by means of us as perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect loving relationships, and perfect creative expression in all things. I trust and know that this is how we proceed from this moment and this moment and this moment, for this moment is the only thing that exists. I step into that understanding that the perfect present moment is all and everything is available in this perfect present moment. And so I lay claim to all that needs to be known by means of me. I lay claim to all that needs to be known by means of each and every person here, knowing and trusting that it simply unfolds. It simply presents itself in our experience. It simply lets go. So I step into that place of gratitude for this understanding, and I step into a deep understanding that gratitude is the gasoline in this engine of creation. And as I am grateful, creation simply occurs. I am grateful for this teaching. I am grateful for this community. I am grateful for the support of each and every person whom I encounter. I am grateful for this building. I'm grateful for this band. I'm grateful for every single person who comes together to make this experience be exactly what it needs to be, which is an experience of the divine knowing itself on a more deep level. For as we know ourselves more deeply, the divine knows itself more deeply. And so stepping into this, I simply let it be so. As I release this word to a perfectly corresponding law, knowing that it is done, exacting, and according to my belief. I allow it, I let go, I release, I know it is done, and I simply let it be done, as together we say, and so it is. Sing this again, here we go. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Affirm for everyone you know that you are God. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know. Let's affirm we are God.
Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know that we are. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know. Be still and know. Be still and know.
And so it is. In our final moment of celebration before we go out and enjoy the food, let's sing This Little Light of Mine, which is on page 25. Thank you. 25. And if you'd like to stand and stretch, exactly. He's done talking. No apologies.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Just a spark can light the dark. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, just a spark can light the dark. I'm gonna let it shine. Just a spark can light the dark. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Won't let fear and doubt flow.